When you are in deep grief, your brain goes into survival mode and it wants the pain to stop right now. And that leads to what I call the widow fog, a state where you are biologically wired to make decisions you would never make under normal circumstances. Today, I'm sharing the 5 most common mistakes widows make in the first year. Not to shame you, not to scold you, but to protect you, because you deserve support, clarity, and a gentle roadmap through one of the most disorienting years of your life. Hi, my name is Linda Falasco, and I'm a grief and trauma therapist. And I have been walking alongside widows for the past 25 plus years. What I can tell you is the first year of widowhood feels like a storm you've never asked for, a storm that you've never experienced. You're overwhelmed, you're exhausted, hurting, and trying to survive hour by hour, sometimes minute by minute. If you have already made one of these mistakes that I'm going to talk about, please don't judge yourself. These are human reactions to trauma. These are common occurrences that happen, and no one hands you an instruction book, a guidebook for this. Nobody tells you, hey, here's what's going to happen or here's what to do. Grief is unique, so it's hard to give people a guideline or a guidebook. But what we can do is we can gather up common experiences and share them with one another so that you could be more aware of them. My goal is to give you information that supports your healing. It protects your emotional and financial well-being, and it gives you permission to slow down. So let's dive right in. Let's begin. Mistake number 1. I'll call that the panic decision. In the first few months, your brain is screaming, get away from anything that hurts. That is a trauma response called flight. It convinces you that if I move, I'll feel better. If I sell the house, I won't be triggered. If I change everything, the pain will stop. But here's the therapist's truth. You cannot outrun grief. It moves right along with you. And during months 1 to 6, your brain is not capable of making long-term decisions. You're not thinking clearly because you're not supposed to be. You're in shock. Here's some advice, and it's called the 1-year rule. You may or you may not have heard of. Unless you are in financial danger or unsafe where you live, do not make any major financial or housing decisions for at least 12 months. This protects you from regret, impulsive choices, and unnecessary loss. Mistake number 2. We'll call this the busyness bandage. This looks like maybe volunteering for everything, working 12-hour days, staying out late with friends, avoiding home at all costs, keeping your schedule so packed that you're never alone with your thoughts, or you're never alone by yourself. This is a brilliant short-term survival strategy. It keeps you functioning when you're terrified of the silence. But the reality is, grief waits. If you outrun it now, it comes back harder later on. Often, it comes back as health issues, anxiety, depression, total emotional collapse, cognitive burnout, a weakened immune system. It may not look like you're falling apart, crying and grieving. It comes out in other ways. I tell people all the time, if you push it down and you try to avoid it, it's going to come out, and it often comes out sideways, and it could be years down the line. This is where we'll weave the health piece. That is, your health is at risk when you never stop to feel. Widows often ignore medical appointments, sleep, nutrition, chronic stress symptoms, emotional exhaustion. Your body absorbs unprocessed grief. The busyness works until it doesn't. So here's some gentle advice. I want you to schedule grief time. Literally, schedule grief time. Like you would schedule an appointment or a coffee date with a friend. Schedule time for grief. I tell all my clients this, and I talk about it in my workbook and journals, Mending Piece by Piece. If you're interested in learning more about grief and working through your grief, in the show notes, you will see a link to the book. But what is grief time? It's literally where you're just going to set a timer on your phone, a stove, wherever. You set it for 10 to 20 minutes. And you're going to just sit and you're going to allow yourself to think about your grief. Whether you are just sitting and you cry, you look through pictures, maybe you watch movies, you're going to cry, you're going to remember, you're going to feel, maybe you're journaling. I know it sounds scary, but it releases pressure before it becomes a breakdown. And I tell people that if you are running all the time and you are like, I don't want to think about it, I don't want to think about it, I don't want to think about it, keep pushing away, start with 10 minutes. Don't start with 20. And when that alarm goes off, I need you to shut it down and I want you to have something else to do. Maybe it's, I'm going to go out and take a walk. I'm going to call a friend. I'm going to watch a movie. I'm going to vacuum. Have something to do. Do not just sit there because it will continue. What you're learning to do is you're learning to contain your grief. You're allowing it some space and you're giving it time. And then when you're done the 10 minutes, you're going to say, okay, I'm packing it up until tomorrow at 6 o'clock, whatever the time is that you've set aside. Like I said, I explain it a little bit better probably in the book, but allow yourself this time and this space. You deserve this space to be human and to feel these emotions. Mistake number 3, letting others drive the grief bus. You may hear, you should be over this by now, or you should go out. You should keep yourself busy. You should go out to dinner with us. It's time to take off the ring. You need to get out more. I'm sure that you have a whole list of things. Maybe people are telling you you shouldn't cry in front of people. You need to think about dating again. Here's the survivor truth. These comments sting because they misunderstand the depth of your love. This isn't something that you are getting over. People mean well, but they don't understand. They don't understand. Here's some gentle advice. Use a boundary script. And that is, you're going to know what you're going to say ahead of time. You can say something like, I appreciate your concern, but I'm grieving at my own pace. Or, this is a very personal journey. I'll make the decisions when I'm ready. I know people mean well, but please trust me and trust my timing. You're the one driving the bus. You choose the speed. You choose the direction. You choose the stops. No one else gets to decide how you heal. Only you. And only you can do it the way you need to do it because your grief is unique. So don't let anyone else tell you how to do it. Mistake number 4, fighting the widow fog. I mentioned it earlier. Sometimes we call that grief brain. It's real. It is real. Research shows that the brain of a grieving spouse functions like a brain recovering from an injury. Symptoms include forgetting appointments, forgetting where your keys are, losing things, losing words mid-sentence, getting lost while driving, maybe misplacing your phone or other important items, forgetting to pay bills, feeling just overwhelmed by the simplest tasks like getting a shower or making food, struggling to focus or follow conversations, feeling slow, sluggish, confused, or disorganized. The biggest mistake is telling yourself you're failing or something's wrong with you. Your brain is not broken. It is rewiring after a trauma and a profound change. Here's some advice. Maybe write down everything, like doctor appointment or you just did something. I know I have to do that. I have to remind myself I just took my medicine because I'll forget. Maybe you need to write down things that need to get done and cross it off. That's okay. Write it all down and check the list. Lower your expectations. Lower the expectations that you place on yourself. We have high expectations and we expect ourselves to be doing so much better than we're actually capable of doing. Choose one priority per day. Maybe choose one priority per week. Don't rush this. Take your time. If the priority is, hey, I'm just going to get up and get dressed, okay, that's your priority for today and that's okay. Build rest into your schedule. That is so important. When you are grieving, you are taking up so much energy. It takes a lot physically and physiologically from your body when you're grieving. So you need rest. Talk gently to yourself. That is, change the narrative. Stop being so hard on yourself and so rough on yourself. Make sure you're being kind and you're saying nice things. Like, it's okay to be crying. It's okay to say no. It's okay to stay in my pajamas all day. It's okay that I only did one thing today. Be gentle. You aren't lazy. You're healing. Mistake number 5, rushing to fill the void. Loneliness in widowhood is not just emotional. It is also physical. The absence of your spouse triggers attachment pain in your nervous system. Many widows try to soothe that pain by jumping into dating, by texting someone just to feel wanted, accepting attention from anyone, seeking a replacement for companionship. But here's the danger. You might attract people who prey on your vulnerability. So please be careful. You also might project your late spouse onto someone new. You may miss the healing that comes from learning to stand on your own again. And this is something that you cannot just skip over. You cannot move around it, go under it, over it. You can't. You just have to go through it. This is not about judging dating. It's about the timing. Some gentle advice. Before you invite someone new in, make sure you have returned home to yourself, meaning that you feel comfortable with yourself right now, that you learn to sit with silence. You learn what you need now, not that someone else will fill those needs for you. You know how to do it. You learn who you are becoming. You don't have to rush toward anything. Your heart deserves care, not pressure. I want to hear from my veteran widows out there in the comments. What is one thing you almost did in the first year that you're now grateful you didn't do? Your wisdom could help someone who is grieving right now. This could really help others who are going through that process. Here's something most people don't tell you about the first year of widowhood. And that is, the hardest part often isn't the beginning, it's the middle. Months 4 through 12 can feel like an emotional crash you never expected. And if you're in that stage right now, I want you to know it's normal and you're not going backwards. In the next video next week, we're going to be diving into why the second 6 months are often harder than the first, so that you can understand what's happening beneath the surface and learn how to navigate it with compassion. Make sure that you have subscribed so you don't miss this next video coming up. I want to remind you, you're not alone, you're not behind, and you are doing far better than you think. Until next time, continue mending piece by piece, one step at a time.